Welcome to a poorly lit News Today with WDW News Today. I'm Tom Corliss of WDWNT.com. Please hit the like button and subscribe for more great content from Disney parks all around the globe. Of course, I am still here in Tokyo, Japan, where we're not done yet. There's more to cover. And I'm not even done with Fantasy Springs yet. We're finally going to stay 2 different rooms at the Fantasy Springs Hotel coming up in the next several days. Hopefully, before I come back home, we will get to ride Donkey Kong at Universal Studios Japan. We'll have to wait and see if that happens or not. And more from Japan coming. If you've missed my exploits, you can watch Tom's Tokyo vlogs right here on the channel. There's a playlist with all of them. It's right on our channel, on the front page of the channel. You can find them pretty easily. We've done some fun stuff. Thank you to everyone who's been supporting those. If you haven't checked them out, please do. Drop a like on them if you can. It really helps my emotional state. Anyway, don't worry, Eric's fine. I'm just, Eric has a lot to deal with at the office today, so I'm filling in a bit. And also, I really want to talk about today's news. So selfishly, I wanted to be here for this one. So let's dive right in. Here's the news for today. First of all, over a year after announcing they intended to simplify Genie Plus and Lightning Lane services at the Disney parks, Disney has finally come through on their promise. Disney Genie Plus will be rebranded at both Walt Disney World and Disneyland Resorts. The service will also be available to purchase ahead of time, at least at just Walt Disney World. Disney Genie Plus will soon be called Lightning Lane Multi-Pass. Individual Lightning Lanes will be called Lightning Lane Single Pass. At Walt Disney World, hotel guests will be able to purchase Lightning Lane 7 days ahead of time. All other guests can purchase this skip-the-line option 3 days in advance. Guests will also be able to book before paying to make sure they have the times they want, similar to the former free FastPass Plus system. Hotel guests will be able to book passes for the duration of their vacation, up to 14 days, as soon as they can purchase Lightning Lane. With Lightning Lane Multi-Pass, guests can make up to 3 selections in one day at one theme park in advance. They'll be able to choose from various available times, and on the day of their visit, they can make additional selections after they use a Lightning Lane pass. The single pass option will function relatively the same, but guests can make selections in advance. They can make up to 2 selections per day for high-demand rides. The following attractions will be individual Lightning Lane, or now single pass, if you will. Seven Dwarfs Mine Train at the Magic Kingdom, Tron as well at the Magic Kingdom, Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind at EPCOT, Star Wars Rise of the Resistance at Hollywood Studios, and Avatar Flight of Passage at Animal Kingdom. The My Disney Experience app will also be updated to make it quicker and easier to purchase and plan, according to Disney, with fewer steps and a new option to purchase a multi-pass and a single pass in one transaction. The rebrand will go into effect at Disneyland, but the system will remain the same. The free Disney Genie service at both resorts will also remain the same. Disney said the changes are the result of many focus groups they had with guests, and the changes will go into effect on July 24th, 2024. The changes also come not long after Disney updated their disability access service policies to restrict use of the free accessibility service. Many disabled guests denied DAS since the changes have been told to purchase Disney Genie Plus instead. Obviously, this is all related. They knew this was coming, and I think they decided, well, if we're going to try to force people to buy Genie, even if they kind of deserve a DAS, then we should make it easier for them to do so. So it's all in one big felt swoop. They've done all of this. But let's talk about some other things related to this. Let's talk about tiers. They're going to reintroduce attraction tiers when all of this happens. Again, Lightning Lane Multi-Pass, replacing Disney Genie Plus, will move to a tiered system that categorizes to the most popular Walt Disney World attractions into 2 levels. Guests will be able to choose 1 attraction from the upper tier and 2 or all 3 from the second tier. For Magic Kingdom, the first group is Big Thunder Mountain, Jungle Cruise, Peter Pan, Space Mountain, and Tiana's Bayou Adventure. And then you could pick your other 2 experiences or all 3 from this group. That being the Barnstormer, Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin, Dumbo the Flying Elephant, Haunted Mansion, It's a Small World, Mad Tea Party, Magic Carpets of Aladdin, Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, Mickey's Filler Magic, Monsters, Inc. Laugh Floor, Pirates of the Caribbean, Tomorrowland Speedway, and Under the Sea, Journey of the Little Mermaid. At Epcot, Tier 1 is Frozen Ever After, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, and Soarin' Around the World. Tier 2 will be the Disney and Pixar Short Film Festival, Journey into Imagination with Figment, Living with the Land, Mission Space, The Seas with Nemo and Friends, Spaceship Earth, and Turtle Talk with Crush. Obviously, Test Track is closed currently, so it's not on this list. My assumption, this is not news, this is an assumption, is that Soarin' will probably move down a tier. Maybe Remy will move down, actually. I don't know. Soarin' doesn't seem to have the weights it used to have. I know some of that's the third theater that got added many years ago, but also in general. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on that. But I was going to wager a guess, and the more I thought about it, I was like, Remy's probably actually the one they'll move down, but maybe not. At Hollywood Studios, Tier 1 will be Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. I'll save my jokes for that being a Tier 1. Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith, and Slinky Dog Dash. That's a pretty big first group there. And then in the second tier, you have Alien Swirling Saucers, Beauty and the Beast Live on Stage, Disney Junior Play and Dance, for the first time in forever, a Frozen sing-along celebration, the Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular, Muppet Vision 3D, Star Tours The Adventures Continue, The Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, and Toy Story Mania. At Disney's Animal Kingdom, there are no tiers. I guess since Flight of Passage is individual, there's no real reason to do it. So all in one tier is Dinosaur, Everest, Feathered Friends in Flight, Festival of the Lion King, Finding Nemo, The Big Blue and Beyond, It's Tough to Be a Bug, Kali River Rapids, Kilimanjaro Safaris, and Navi River Journey. So there you go. So all in all, it's a lot of it is just essentially bringing back FastPass Plus, but in a paid format, right? There are slight differences here otherwise, right? You can correct me if I'm wrong, it's been a long time and I'm getting very old. But I believe back in the day, resort guests had a 30-day advantage. That used to be how that worked, to book those in advance. And now it's, it's less than that, but, 7 days with that advantage. And, yeah. So here are my thoughts. I know I saw a lot of people complaining, and my thoughts again to the complaining is they listen though, and the complaints I saw were somewhat irrational, right? Like, look, I'm as mad as anyone that Disney started charging for line skipping service, but they were the ones that held out the longest. Let's remember that Disney introduced FastPass for free in 1999. And then the entire industry followed suit, but almost no one gave it for free, and certainly not Universal. That was never a thing. And this is where someone will inevitably jump in the comments and tell me, oh, but Universal includes it with some hotels. Yeah, they include it with hotels that they've raised the price on to a point at which it makes sense to do so. Because if you're going to tell me the rooms at the Royal Pacific are worth the price they charge for them, I'm going to laugh in your face. I think their hotels are very nice in general. I do think the rooms in some of them, like Hard Rock, are pretty dated and pretty blah. Amenity-wise, they're great, but I don't think those rooms are worth that price. Really, what you're paying for is Express. So, all in all, Disney held out the longest, and yeah, sure, the aftermath of the Bob Chapek era was they were going to charge for FastPass. But for all I celebrate the Oriental Land Company here in Japan, who I think also has for a long time thought about the guest experience and what's fair to their guests. They jumped on the bandwagon too, right? So there is now no one left. There's no one left in the industry that's not charging for line skipping. If we really examine it though, Disney World and Disneyland do charge less to skip the line in most cases than most of their competition, if not all their competition. And in fact, less than several Disney parks in the world, the line skipping service at Disneyland Paris is super expensive. Premier access there. It's similarly priced here. The yen is weak, but similarly priced. So, I don't know. Again, OLC right now is offering Priority Pass for free, which is like a free Fast Pass, but we know that's going away. The belief was OLC was holding out to see what Disney was going to do with its final form of whatever this was going to be, and now that we know that it's, multi-pass and individual, we expect something similar will roll out here in the not-too-distant future as well. So, if you ask me if I think Express is better, I mean, Express is more expensive, but it's probably, there's less picking and choosing and less time on your phone for sure, but the Disney option is still cheaper. The other thing I saw was people were mad that resort guests got a benefit, and the point there that I saw several people make was, again, this is something that they did before, and they should. I think if you stay in an official hotel at any Disney resort in the world, you should get some sort of benefit. And in fact, it's what makes people want to stay on property. I know when we went to Shanghai for the first time, people couldn't tell me how valuable the separate side entrance was for Disney resort guests. Disneyland Paris, how much easier it was to get park reservations if you were a hotel guest. Otherwise, you're lucky to get in some days on some of my trips. If we weren't a Disney hotel guest, we would have had a very hard time. I don't have a problem with that, and I don't think anyone else should, and I don't think people had a problem with it back during FastPass Plus, so why do we have a problem with it suddenly now? Pass holders are feeling, I'm never going to get to ride anything. That's not the case. I very much remember, you remember FastPass Plus was during my early years of living in Florida, and I went to the parks a lot, and it was not uncommon. We would, I remember going with friends, and we'd sit and refresh the app a couple times, and we'd be able to pull just about anything. I remember pulling Slinky Dog Dash and Flight of Passage, and just about every time we went to those parks, if we tried hard enough, we could get a fast pass for them. Also, let's remember, folks, that the standby line is still available on these, so you can get in a standby line, and it will cost you nothing. You still have that option. Now, obviously, you don't have that option with the boarding group things. I still think, I hate boarding groups. Virtual queue, I'm not a fan. That's the thing I'm going to chastise Disney for and go to bat against. But this, everyone's charging for paid FastPass. I appreciate that Disney listened and is finally making these changes, which go back a bit to the system of old, and I think in total will make people a lot happier. But let me know in the comments how you feel. Either way, I think it's all a move in the right direction. All right, if I was positive about what's happening with Lightning Lane, I'm going to be negative about our next story, which are menu changes at Sleepy Hollow Refreshments in the Magic Kingdom. The waffle sandwiches are dead. That's right, the Nutella waffle and the sweet and spicy chicken waffle sandwich are no more. And in their place are a number of new Mickey waffle and funnel cake options. So there is now a Mickey waffle with berries and cream, which I think is meant to be, in some cases, the replacement of the Nutella waffle, served with powdered sugar, strawberries, blueberries, and whipped cream. There's then a Mickey waffle with chocolate hazelnut spread and bananas. I guess this would be more the equivalent. They kind of separated into two waffle items, right? Because the hazelnut spread's over here with bananas. But yeah, chocolate hazelnut spread, bananas, and whipped cream on that Mickey waffle. The funnel cake with chocolate hazelnut spread, bananas, and whipped cream is $8.49. So it's a funnel cake. This is a way less, I don't know if anything could be less healthy than the waffle sandwiches, but I bet funnel cake is. Funnel cake's got to be more calories than waffles, right? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I have no idea. You could definitely tell I know how calories work, right? Anyway, and then last but not least, the Mickey waffle with sweet and spicy maple chicken for $11.59. It's served with a honey sriracha glaze and parsley flakes. So it looks like they've essentially gone to chicken tenders, put the sweet and spicy sauce on them, and then thrown it on a Mickey waffle. This makes me sad. That sweet and spicy waffle sandwich was, I think, probably the best counter service item at Magic Kingdom. But I think for anyone who's about to argue with me in the comments, they're going to say that the Nutella one was. So either way, we're all in the same camp, and we all agree that we lost two fantastic items at Magic Kingdom. We've seen a lot of these changes recently. The Hush Puppies being gone from Harbor House. It is clearly menu change season at Walt Disney World, and a lot of the changes so far are not for the best. So we'll wait and see. If you want to hear a review of these, Nana has a very angry review that she posted here on the channel. You can go watch Nana be the crazy person she is. I love Nana. She does great work. I appreciate her every day, but she's also clinically insane. We all are a little, but Nana more than most of us. So go check that out. I'm pretty mad about it. Yeah, I already try not to eat in that park, and that's one of the few things I will eat in that park, so it's a big loss. Disney has been slowly refreshing various elements of the Living with the Land attraction at EPCOT, and this week, a couple more changes were implemented. Of course, earlier this year, the rainforest scene got a updated blue tone lighting. A section of the scene now has some deep red lighting as well. This seemed weird to me. I don't know if this is meant to be permanent, but it's there right now either way. What is clearly intentional and is very, very cool is in the American Prairie scene, guests can now see lightning strike. See the lightning strikes in the backdrop and a brush fire in the distance. These are old effects that were deactivated or broken, more likely broken, many years ago. I will tell you, I think I moved to Orlando in 2013. This has definitely not worked since then. This may have been broken even longer than that. We may be talking decades since this has worked correctly, but now it looks right. It kind of looks like a fire's off in the distance again. Good on them. I'm glad to see, maintenance has continued to be a problem at Walt Disney World, so it's really nice to see little things like this happening. I don't know about the red light. Not a fan if that's meant to be, but I kind of feel like that's an error. Hopefully someone will address that, but the brush fire looks great. That's maybe the only time anyone will ever say that the brush fire looks great. The Shanghai Disneyland exhibit in the China Pavilion of EPCOT is getting an update to include the Zootopia land that recently opened at the park. The Shanghai Disneyland exhibit is located in the House of the Whispering Willows. This building is connected to the lobby of the Reflections of China Theater. On Tuesday, signs on the door indicated the House of the Whispering Willows is under refurbishment. These doors and those in the lobby were closed and locked. The Shanghai Disneyland exhibit opened 8 years ago when Shanghai's theme park debuted. As Shanghai Disneyland has changed, they've updated the exhibit slightly as well. Of course, Shanghai Disneyland Zootopia Land opened on December 20th, 2023. Through the windows, we could see work inside the exhibit, and a display case near the door now has Zootopia Land concept art. And a crew member was working on hanging more concept art. This case previously displayed Camp Discovery art and maquettes and merchandise. And another crew member was working on the Toy Story Land display case in the center of the room. The items in that case may also be replaced with Zootopia artwork and props. We'll have to wait and see how much of it's getting switched out. Previously, they've only changed an exhibit or two rather than like the whole thing. So I assume it's just going to be like an updated video and one display case. I could be wrong. But either way, I love theme park exhibits, right? I just talked about, we have a great post up on the website, which is a tour of Fantasy Springs, A New Chapter Begins, which is an exhibit you pay to access here at Tokyo Disney Resort at essentially their downtown Disney. And it was like the best hour and a half I've spent in a theme park in a very long time, other than going to Fantasy Springs and some other instances here and there. It was pretty magical because that's my bread and butter, right? Concept art and hearing from people that made things and reading about history. That's what I love. And so anytime we get more of that in the parks so people can learn more and see things, I'm all for it. I think this is fantastic. I'm looking forward to seeing what the update looks like, and maybe it's not a long flight from here to get to Shanghai. Maybe I need to pop in to Shanghai and see this Zootopia Land. It's the only ride in the world. It's the only Disney attraction in the world I have not been on. So maybe I need to correct that. I'll have to see if I can make that happen. It turns out that the Grinning Loth-Cat mug, now available in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Disney's Hollywood Studios, is different from the one that was recently released at Disneyland. The mugs are the same shape, but the new one is stone gray instead of brown. The mug is $28. It's available at Oga's Cantina with the purchase of a non-alcoholic beverage or bottled water. It's not available to purchase on its own, and the Grinning Loth-Cat cocktail from Batu West is not available in Florida. The mug is sculpted ceramic. It's microwave and dishwasher safe. And in the Star Wars universe, the Loth-Cats or Loth-Cats are a feline breed native to Lothal, or Lothal, I don't know. Let's call the whole thing off. They have appeared in Star Wars Rebels and Ahsoka. Though this mug is a different color from the original, it's still labeled First Edition, so that makes it a Florida First Edition. It gets confusing, just like Trader Sam's. It starts to get confusing, but it's cool. I like when things are different. I like that they give you a reason to go other places and collect. That's the thing I like, so this is, I like that it's different. Speaking of things I like, the Hoop-Dee-Doo musical Revue is celebrating its 50th anniversary, and Disney is marking the occasion with 50th anniversary merchandise. The collection is available at the Settlement Trading Post located across from Pioneer Hall, the home of Hoop-Dee-Doo. There is a limit of 5 of one item per guest. The raglan shirt you're looking at now in this picture is old, but matches the new items, in fact. So there is a magnet for $14.99. There is also a Hoop-Dee-Doo musical review 50th anniversary magnet. There's a different magnet, which the first one's Pioneer Hall. The second one has that art from the shirts and stuff such that were released earlier. That's $14.99. There's an ornament for $22.99, which is very cute. A tumbler for $27.99. No, it's not a Tervis. All of those are available now. I got to get back to Florida and grab some of these. I love Hoop. Hoop's the best. Disneyland Paris has been fined for over €400,000 over required reservations for annual pass holders. Park reservation systems were imposed at several Disney parks amid the COVID-19 pandemic and remain in place. The fine comes from a department of the French government that handles competition, consumption, and repression of frauds, or the DGCCRF. It's a nice short acronym so you can remember it, kids. But anyway, they cite inadequate communication from Disneyland Paris regarding restricted access to the parks for pass holders. They state Disneyland Paris broke provisions of the Consumer Code concerning deceptive business practices. Disneyland Resort in California faced similar issues with a lawsuit regarding park passes for Magic Key holders. That, of course, was finalized earlier this year. And just finally now I'm getting my $67.41 back. You know how I plan to spend that? That is almost exactly the price of a day's admission to Tokyo Disney Resort's theme parks. So I'm going to spend it on that. So it's a nice way to do it. But yeah, I mean, French law is fascinating, and it's always anti-business. All French law is very anti-business. Sometimes it seems unfair, and sometimes like this, it's like, oh, well, it's nice to see that the consumer is being defended, right? So I agree. I think it's in the case of Disneyland Paris that park reservations were so hard to get, harder than they were, I think, pretty much at any of the other parks I went to in that period, that this does seem fair. I'm on board with this. All right, we're moving on to Disney Cruise Line, where we've got new details about the Disney Adventure, finally, and Disney is sticking to that 2025 sail date. Beginning next year, families can embark on an epic vacation at sea when the Disney Adventure sets sail out of Singapore. With 3- and 4-night itineraries that will offer magical days at sea, sailing on the Disney Adventure will be both a journey and a destination filled with endless possibilities and fun for the whole family. It's interesting that they're not saying any destinations. It just says at sea. So there has been some people have been asking me, where do you think the adventure is going to go in Asia? And I said, I was like, well, I think like the Disney Wish. I think the pent-up demand there for this kind of offering is going to be so high that I think they're going to want to maximize profits. And the best way to do that is just a bunch of 3- and 4-day cruises. And maybe they don't even go anywhere. It sounds like these are just going to be at sea. We'll have to wait and see. I know Royal Caribbean sails in Singapore, and the 2 ports they go to are, I forget the name of the city. They go to whatever the most, it's the most tourist-driven city in Malaysia, and they also go to Phuket. So I thought maybe the Disney ship would go there. Maybe eventually it will, but they're not willing to say that at this point, at least. But what can families expect when charting new waters aboard the Disney Adventure? Well, grand and immersive experiences that'll bring the worlds of Disney, Pixar, and Marvel to life like never before, says Disney. The creative teams at Disney Cruise Line and Walt Disney Imagineering have been busy dreaming up exciting new ways to amaze and entertain adventure seekers while on board. Inspired by the magic of imagination, discovery, fantasy, and of course adventure, families will discover 7 uniquely themed areas throughout the ship, all designed to bring the extraordinary worlds of fan-favorite Disney stories to life. Each area will be packed with immersive experiences and entertainment featuring beloved characters where families can create memories to last a lifetime without ever leaving the ship. It again indicates that we're not leaving the ship during the cruise. The new areas include the Disney Imagination Garden, where you can journey through an enchanted valley inspired by more than 100 years of heroic and heartwarming Disney stories, from Mowgli exploring the jungle to Moana taming the high seas. This imaginative gathering space will also be home to dazzling performances and an open-air stage. At Disney Discovery Reef, you travel down to the ocean floor to explore the nautical worlds of The Little Mermaid, Lilo and Stitch, Finding Nemo, and Luca, complete with uniquely themed shopping and dining options. Inspired by the expansive world of Big Hero 6, San Francisco Street will be a bustling family entertainment area featuring interactive games and activities, shops, cinemas, and more. At Wayfinder Bay, be called by the line where the sky meets the sea to a poolside retreat reflecting the Pacific Islands-inspired artistry of Moana with some of the most stunning views aboard the Disney Adventure. Venture into the enchanted Town Square, a fantastical forest filled with shops, lounges, cafes, restaurants, and entertainment venues inspired by the kingdoms from Tangled, Cinderella, Frozen, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and The Princess and the Frog, and more. Heroes will unite in Marvel Landing, where Avengers-level adventure featuring thrilling attractions and all-new experiences await. And at Toy Story Place, little ones will pal around with friends from Andy's room in a whimsical and interactive water play zone, along with different themed food venues. In signature Disney Cruise Line style, every sailing on the Disney Adventure will be packed with fun, plenty of time for relaxation, a range of delicious dining options, incredible entertainment, and exceptional guest service. And at the end of every adventure-filled day, comfortable staterooms complete with family-friendly conveniences and special Disney touches will be waiting. You're looking at concept art of those staterooms now. You'll notice they look an awful lot like the Wish and the Treasure Rooms. The layout a little different because, again, Disney bought this ship as it was being constructed for a different company. The Disney Adventure will also feature premium concierge accommodations for the ultimate luxury experience, including a range of exclusive amenities from high-end shopping to dedicated spa and fitness facilities. The Disney Adventure is currently under construction at the Meyer-Werft shipyard in Wismar, Germany, under the management of, again, Meyer-Werft. The Papenburg-based company that also built the Dream, the Fantasy, and the Wish is currently constructing the Treasure and Disney Destiny. The Disney Adventure is expected to have capacity for about 6,700 guests and around 2,500 crew members. It is a big, big, big ship. You'll notice that in describing these areas, a lot of them sound very different from what we've ever seen on the cruises. They all sound like they're big open areas that had to be converted into multiple venues, maybe some of which were originally going to be places where people could gamble, because this was a cruise line ship being built for service in Asia, and that is a common expectation out in this part of the world, is that there will be gambling on a cruise ship. So let me know in the comments how you feel. I'm excited to see what they do with this and how different it's going to be from what they've done before. With the permanent closure of Buzz Lightyear's Astro Blasters just weeks away here at the Tokyo Disney Resort, OLC has announced a number of things they're doing to celebrate the closure of this attraction permanently. In fact, Astro Hero Time, a special limited time overlay of the attraction, is set to return from July 2nd through September 18th, 2024. This will only be the second time they've done this overlay, and it will encourage guests to improve their scores and defeat the evil Emperor Zurg with even more targets to hit throughout Buzz Lightyear's Astro Blasters. Now, from our recollection of the last time they did this overlay, it's really just an opportunity to ride the attraction with less of the targets in motion and a couple of bonus ones. That's really it. Just the idea is to help you get a higher score, which kind of just feels like cheating. Did you really accomplish it if you didn't do it when the ride's fully operating? But anyway, what I love that's interesting about this is they've wrapped a backstory into this, and it's that Star Command has secretly succeeded in improving the Astro Blaster mounted on the XP-38 Space Cruiser. And so that's what's allowing you to score better, is they've upgraded your tech. Anyway. Part 2 of the farewell celebration will take place from September 19th through October 31st. Tokyo Disney Resort is promising there will be special merchandise and, of course, a special popcorn box throughout the park during this period. You may remember that they actually just did 2 special popcorn boxes. One was the Countdown to Fantasy Springs, the other being a popcorn box that celebrates the end of the original Space Mountain in just a few days' time out here. And also similar to the Space Mountain ongoing Final Ignition celebration, cast members will also distribute a special sticker to mark the completion of the mission at Buzz Lightyear's Astro Blasters. But again, it will close essentially on Halloween. Halloween's going to be their last day of operation. And what's it closing for? Well, we've told you this before, but in 2026, a Wreck-It Ralph shooter attraction will open in that space, and also the adjacent Planet M store will go through a remodeling process as well. All of this will wrap into the new aesthetic of Tomorrowland. They've been redoing Tomorrowland in phases. Phase 1 was the Big Pop and the Happy Ride with Baymax. Phase 2 is the new Space Mountain, and also now this Wreck-It Ralph attraction, which will open at least a year in advance of the new Space Mountain. But in phases, Tokyo Disneyland updating their Tomorrowland. Now Disney, do Disneyland, or Magic Kingdom, or both, or all the Tomorrowlands in the world, please. OLC doing a good job keeping up, though. Things are going well at Hong Kong Disneyland. In fact, they announced that they achieved profitability and a major attendance rebound for the fiscal year 2023. The resort shared their fiscal year 23 results on Tuesday, and according to figures from the Hong Kong Tourism Board, the theme park's attendance rebound outpaced Hong Kong's total visitor recovery when compared to 2018 numbers. The resort also saw record high local attendance. Quote, "We've entered a new era. I'm extremely proud of all we've accomplished at Hong Kong Disneyland Resort in the lead up to our 20th anniversary, achieving profitability in calendar year 2023, and our rebound in visitors outpacing the overall Hong Kong tourism market," said Michael Moriarty, the managing director of Hong Kong Disneyland Resort. Hong Kong Disneyland had significant financial growth compared to the prior fiscal year, revenue up 156%. The net loss improved by 83%. Per capita spending grew 54%. Total attendance was up 87% to 6.4 million. And hotel utilization rate was 77%. Of course, Q1 of 2024 was the resort's most successful quarter ever, bolstered by the opening of World of Frozen in late 2023. They welcomed their 100 millionth guests soon after the land opened, and the resort achieved record-breaking revenue and net income in the quarter. And in December of 2023, Hong Kong Disneyland also fully repaid their revolving loan facility funded by a subsidiary of the Walt Disney Company and has not drawn on it since. This is wonderful to hear. I love Hong Kong Disneyland. It's such a charming park. It's so worth visiting. There's so many little unique things I love. And the atmosphere, there's this laid-back vibe to go into that park that just makes it like the most pleasant Disney park in the world. There's not a lot of running. You could almost do everything with ease for the most part. I don't know, and I love the Explorers Lodge, my favorite Disney hotel in the world. I love it so much. So congratulations to Hong Kong Disneyland. I'm very happy to hear they're succeeding. The last thing we want to hear when money is being invested and a park is trying and the cast is trying, the last thing you want to hear is that, they're not making, any money. So I'm glad to hear they're turning things around in Hong Kong, and I hope that continues because I would love to see more expansion there. I would love to see them do more in Tomorrowland with that big empty space from the Zootopia that they closed for now it feels like no reason. Sticking with Hong Kong Disneyland, they will celebrate the holidays with the annual Disney Christmas celebration once again this year, but now World of Frozen will join in on the offerings. Disney Christmas will be celebrated at Hong Kong Disneyland from mid-November through January 1st of 2025. New this year, Queen Anna, Elsa, and the citizens of Arendelle at World of Frozen host an Arendelle-style holiday celebration. World of Frozen, of course, opened last holiday season, but they didn't really have a chance to jump in and join the festivities. Hong Kong Disneyland guests can also celebrate with Duffy and Friends, who will don new holiday outfits at the Duffy and Friends Playhouse. Mickey and Friends Christmas Time Ball, a holiday wish come true, tree lighting ceremony, and more will also return. That tree lighting show is the one that debuted drones last year, and it's a really cool show. You can watch that right here on the channel if you'd like. Please check it out. But that's cool. I can't wait to see they didn't give us any actual details. I wonder if it's going to be more than just decor. We'll have to wait and see, but should be cool. For more on these stories and all that didn't make it into today's show, head on over to WDWNT.com. And of course, follow us on all your favorite social media platforms. You can support this show and others here on the channel by joining the WDWNT Interglobe Society at patreon.com/WDWNT. Sorry, I'm doing this without a script. I'm trying to just do it from memory. Patreon.com/WDWNT. Get access early to shows, get exclusive access to programming like a Zoom with me, and so much more, event discounts, etc. Again, join today at patreon.com/WDWNT. As well, you can support us by buying from Carousel of Products. You can do so at shop.WDWNT.com. We still are selling these bad boys, these Tower of Terror 30th anniversary button-up shirts. They're really great. I love it. I wear it here all the time. They love it here because Shriki's on it. I got even Shriki Otundu referencing the Tokyo Tower Terror. The rest is all the American Tower Terror attractions, and Paris for that matter. But there is a little hidden nod. There's a couple other hidden nods I can't show you. You have to buy the product, but there's some special text and things hidden around the shirt. You got to discover it for yourself. But again, available at shop.WDWNT.com. For the worldwide leader in Disney Parks news, this is Tom Corliss saying enjoy the rest of your today. Have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.